I think the big news of the day is that investors, the bond market, still see the Fed cutting rates here in the coming weeks and the coming months. I think that is really the big thing going forward. And what does that foretell? It foretells weaker economic news, recession, depression coming. And it's okay. And people get so worried about these things happening. This is the booms and busts of life. We are in a fourth turning. This is what we've been preparing for and what we've been talking about for years. And this is when a higher degree of order can come into the world. What's going on, guys? Brandon here. It is Monday, April 24th, 2023. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and you got to start another great week. Another Monday, get 52 Mondays a year to start your week and start it in an incredible way, the right way. And here we are again. So what are we going to choose today? What are we going to choose going forward? And really, it's time, as we always say, to get prepared, question everything with boldness, and it's time to prepare, and it's time to share the signal with the noise. By the way, I saw a crazy headline as well on Yahoo that Tucker Carlson looks like he's gone from Fox News. So big shakeups happening. The world is being shaken up, and we can be the light in the world to eradicate darkness, but we have to do that by getting prepared, independent, and resilient. It's the only way. If you are relying on someone else to do something for you, you are going to have a bad time. Just like they say in South Park, right? We're going to have a bad time. If you pizza or french fry when you're supposed to pizza, you're going to have a bad time. So we have to get prepared. We have to get resilient. This is the only way forward. So how do we do that? One of those ways to getting independent, getting prepared, getting resilient is watching what's going on. What is the dog wagging the tail? What is actually happening? So, in here, we've been talking about this for a while. The market still thinks there's going to be rate cuts because chaos is going to ensue, which, as we've seen, with double the amount, I think it was Stephanie Pomboy, someone was just talking about this recently, you have double the amount of debt we had before the great financial crisis 15 years ago, and you have done exactly opposite of what you should be doing. We had double the debt that we had as a country than 15 years ago, and we have, I believe, 9 interest rate hikes over the last year and a half, and the steepest we've ever hiked rates. So, as she said, you think you are crazy if you think that isn't going to have ramifications on society and on the economy here moving forward. And this is evidenced as to the yield curve, like we've been talking about. Again, this inverted yield curve, the long-dated bonds telling us, hey, they're shouting from the rooftops, hey, bonds are going to be lower. Look at our bonds here. They are lower. People are going to have to reverse this. The Fed's going to have to reverse this because they won't be able to do this forever. This is going to grind everything to a halt. What they've done, the rate hikes, and it hasn't even hit yet. We have the commercial, many things like the commercial real estate industry, which is just starting to roll things over. Their debt, people refinancing, not being able to refinance. So the margin calls, the loans being called, the bankruptcies, all the things that are going to emanate from that industry are going to be crazy. And we've seen the problems in the for rent signs or for lease signs all over in the commercial sector. That is going to be coming to an interest rate, a bond near you. That is going to be coming, coming to just prices near you as well. The price increases of chaos ensuing. So they're going to have to pivot. They're going to have to lower rates. They're going to have to drop really everything they're doing and pivot. So this is why we must be prepared. Again, the bond market, the 10-year is at about 3.5% still. Everyone's kind of just sitting there wondering, hey, what's going to happen? And just watching to see what is going to happen. Again, the DXY, the dollar relative strength, just above 101. It's been weakening in sum total over the last 6 to 8 months, but again the last couple days, last week or so, somewhat stagnant. Just people again waiting to see what's going to happen, what in the world is going to take place, and this is the time to prepare. This is the time to get independent, time to buy insurance and fortify what you are doing. Because again, if you are relying on government or someone else to come in and save you, it is not going to happen. Newsflash: canceling student loan debt, PPP loans, stimulus checks, the welfare, the EBT, the bridge cards, whatever, food stamps, these things are not helping you. Short term, it's the nice little hit. It's the nice little dopamine hit. It's the nice little injection. It's the nice little, boost that you think you need. But in the long term, you get worse right? The long term, it just prolongs the inevitable. Instead of getting at the core issues and the spending habits, financial literacy, getting at just basic bookkeeping and budgets and accounting, if we get back to those core issues of culture, the culture rot, and people having no accountability, responsibility, then we can actually affect change. Otherwise, these things are just short-term hits. These are things that will just buy votes, and then boom, things are 10 times worse. And then the politicians are coming in later. Hey, we got something to fix the crumbling housing sector, and now the commercial real estate sector, and now student loans. It's just, it never ends, because that's what happens in an inflationary fiat monetary system. This will never end. It will only speed up. It will only get more disastrous, because this is how it ends. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to warn you to get off the Titanic and get into the life raft. For me, it's Bitcoin, but it's also in large part physically having the things on hand that you need, whether it's food, energy, water, storage, ammo, security, lead, and having the community around you. This is the biggest thing. We are going into times that will try men's souls, as Thomas Paine wrote about 200 plus years ago. We are in those times again. We are in a fourth turning. We are in a crisis period, which can lead to great abundance on the backside. That's in will. But I want you, I want me and my family, I want the people around me, and you, I want you to be there when the smoke clears. That is really, truly what this is all about. I want us to be playable characters. I want us to be the playable characters in the sea of non-playable characters. So that's why we do this. That's why we come here and do this every day and see what's actually happening. Crude oil, it bumped up a little bit, but just under $80 a barrel still. And again, we've seen some drop here in the last few weeks, because again, people kind of thinking, and big drops over the last year, because people are seeing the writing on the wall saying, hey, there's going to be slower economic activity going forward, whether it's green stuff going on, but just in general, if the economy is, if we're having to pivot and drop rates, that means the economy is faltering, and that means that whether it's lockdowns or insane stuff like that, or it's just less economic activity, that means oil is being used less in goods and services, in logistics, etc. So the oil price is down, and then that's the big three trifecta to see where the economy is truly going. Because again, the bond market is the big one, the DXY, the dollar. That's the dog that wags the tail. Everything is derived from that. The stock market is derived from that. That's why we don't spend any time on the stock market, because the stock market is pointless. It doesn't tell you anything. A lot of people only follow it because they're invested. Their retirement has been forced into the stock market to pay Wall Street fees and financial advisors, and to fund CNBC and Jim Cramer's retirement and their livelihoods. I'm not into that game. I want bearer instruments. I don't want to be paying fees and garbage to other people and other shills and grifters, rent seekers. I don't care. I want physical assets. I want tangible things. I want Bitcoin, gold, silver, food, energy, water, commodities, lead. I want real things. There will be a time to buy more real estate, passive incoming, passive cash flowing real estate, and dividend paying stocks, good dividend paying stocks, things like that in the future. Again, it's just not for me. It's not the time of life. I'm young, and I see the crisis ahead. So I want to be positioned when there's blood in the streets to be picking everything up when everyone is running for the hills. And then so the big three liquidity indicators are Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Those show you again where liquidity is in the world and what's actually happening. That's why gold and silver have been up a ton. I believe 10 to 20% over since the beginning of the year. Bitcoin has been up 100%, doubled since November, I believe, was kind of the bottom down here at 15,000. It's dragged down a little bit over the last week or so, down to 27,000. 27,000. But again, up over 30, got to 31, 32, and it's dumped down a little bit over the last week or two. So the liquidity indicator is showing us what is happening. So let me know. Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin running? I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Let's see if Bitcoin is running. Unlike the banks, unlike the Federal Reserve, we don't know their monetary policy. Bitcoin's got 100% uptime over the last 11 years and 99% overall. 99.9%. So beautiful, predictable control experiment you can base your life off of instead of this arbitrary monetary policy. So what do we choose? What do we want to do? Do we want to be prepared, or do we not? So Bitcoin is running beautifully, might I add. And we know 100%, that is super bright, that the debt has to go up. This is the dollar being deflated away or inflated away, losing its value every single second of every single day. We know that with the guarantee. Just like Mike Maloney says, these things, Bitcoin, gold, and silver have a central bank guarantee guarantee that central banks will print their fiat currencies into oblivion, and those holding that will get poorer over time. You're holding a liability, the dollar, peso, yen, any fiat currency you think is an asset. It's a liability in your balance sheet, though. If you reworked your balance sheet to understand that those are liabilities, you would look at things very differently. That's why I denominate my life in Bitcoin, and I've been changing and I've changed a lot of my life over and converted over to Bitcoin and run on a Bitcoin standard and pricings and Satoshis. Things become very clear and very easy when you start doing such things. Again, we have showed this numerous times as well. We have showed what life looks like when you denominate your life in Bitcoin, in Satoshis. Here is all time. Here's your life. The median house in America over the last 10 years, 11 years, priced in Bitcoin. Going down. Again, buying more and more house with your Bitcoin. So Bitcoin becoming more valuable, having more purchasing power, buying you more things. And here is conversely fiat. That same house buys you less and less because you have to find more and more of these paper monopoly units to buy the same house. But Bitcoin, because it's deflationary money, because it's the hardest money to ever exist, you have to find less and less and less Bitcoin to buy that same 3-bedroom, 2-house, or 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Simple. Simple. And I love showing this graph as well. The dollar divided by Bitcoin getting absolutely destroyed, taken to Pound Town. The dollar destroyed by Bitcoin in our last 5, 6, 7 years. So what are we going to do? What kind of trade are we going to make for ourselves? Make the fair trade. Finite time for finite money. Why would you trade your finite time for infinite currency? Not good. So I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Please share this out. The signal, share out any signal in the noise. And I appreciate you coming here, questioning everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. Algorithm hates truth. This is not financial advice. It's freedom advice. So please do your homework, do your own research, and build community together with like-minded people, because we are going into some unbelievable times, if you haven't noticed recently. And it's time to buy insurance, time to get prepared, and be the ones to thrive in the backside, and be the ones that can be the beacon, the shining light on the hill for those in need. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.